Hey friends, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah from PIESNPROSE, and today we're doing a bit of a refresh on a video that I've actually done 2 times before on this channel. Actually, the very first part of this video was my very first video ever on the channel. So this is really cool to be revisiting it, and obviously, if you can tell by the title of the video, we are going to be talking about how I edit my photos and also videos for Instagram and TikTok. The reason why I wanted to do this video is because obviously there has been a huge shift in the way that I edit my photos and videos. And so because that editing style has completely changed, I figured I would share an update on how I edit now. I know a lot of people are looking for inspiration on how to edit, and I have a very simple one for you today. So I think you're going to enjoy it. My editing style is so much more simplified, even more so than before. Let's get right into it. So I wanted to show a little bit of a before and after when it comes to my editing style, because if you haven't heard yet, I have shifted from a former Instagram account that had like a larger following over to a brand new Instagram account, and the styles are super different. So first, let me show you what it looks like on the screen. You'll see it somewhere on the screen of my old Instagram account, and as you can see, it is very warm toned. It's heavily filtered. It has all of those warm colors, but it's also quite shadowy. It's not bright and vibrant. It's actually more on the darker side. If you think about it, it's a little muted, but everything is cohesive, and the main thing about that feed is that everything is warm. It reminds me of autumn almost, and I think it reminds a lot of people of autumn because that's the comment that I used to get quite often. But that's what it looks like. I'm now going to show you what it looks like on my brand new Instagram account. So much more different. It is a lot more bright. It's a lot more vibrant. There is no filter. That is something that I'll mention right from the start. There is no filter happening here, and it's just a lot more brighter. It has way less shadows, maybe very minimal amount of shadows, and it just looks a lot more natural, I think, but while also being cohesive. So now that you have the before and after, now I'm going to go into actually sharing. Whoa, it just got really bright in here. I made it a little darker so that I'm not white cast. I'm actually going to show you how I edit my photos now on my new Instagram feed in like real time. So I'm going to use an example on my phone. I'm going to share it on the screen, and we're going to go through it together. I actually pulled up an example photo because you do not want to see what my camera roll looks like right now. It is absolutely disgusting. This is the photo that we're going to go with today, as if I were going to post it on my Instagram feed. I think I've actually posted this on my feed before, but anyway, I want to just say that before I start editing, I make sure that the lighting on my phone, like the brightness of my phone, is up all the way so that I can get an accurate editing experience. So that's the very first thing, but then I'm going to share it and go to an app called Snapseed. This is my main base when it comes to editing my photos on my phone. I love Snapseed so much, and it is free. All the apps that I'm going to mention today, by the way, are going to be in the description box if you need to grab them really quickly. And then I go into tools, and the first thing that I click on is perspective. Now, perspective literally just changes the perspective of the photo. Sometimes I'll take a photo and I accidentally took a photo that's a bit too angular, and it just looks funky now that I'm looking at it after the fact, and so I have to adjust that. So that's what I'm doing here. There are different options such as tilt, rotate, scale, and free. I usually only use tilt, rotate, and free, and tilt literally just tilts the photo up and down, and then you'll see the edges just automatically adjust. And I just want to make sure that the picture is perfectly straight and aligned so that it's visually appealing. Sometimes I use the free option. The free option means freehand. I can really tweak the photo if it's completely messed up and I did not take a great original photo, but you know, it happens. But there you go. As you can see, it did a quick shift there on the perspective. And then the next thing I go to is tools and tune image. This is where I do the bulk of my editing. Basically, what I want to do is make everything brighter and more vibrant. That also includes a bit of color. So we'll start with brightness, and I just up that brightness up by kind of a lot, and then just a bit of contrast to make it look a little bolder. Then I put in a touch of saturation so that the colors that are already on the photo boost a little bit. Ambiance, I feel like rounds out the photo a bit better, so I put a teeny bit of that. And then highlights, I put a lot. I put a lot of highlights. This is what makes it really vibrant. And then shadows, I actually go on the negative end because I feel like with all that brightness and highlighting, sometimes the shadowing gets lost and I don't want it to be like too bright and it looks like, you know, I edited really horribly. So I just put some shadows in there so that it looks a little more balanced. And then I just put a touch of warmth, just a touch, so that you can kind of notice it, but it's not too obvious. And then I'll hit this before and after on the top, on that top right area, so you can see the difference. So as you can see, it's brighter, much more vibrant, and just a tad bit warmer. I think I'm actually going to add a little bit more highlight. Okay, there we go. And now I hit save, and I think I like how it looks. I think it looks exactly what I want it to look like. Sometimes here the tricky part is getting the whiteness down, because as you can see from my feed, if you check it out, it has a big component of whiteness. And I just want to make sure that the whiteness is cohesive throughout my entire feed. I don't want it to be too cold toned or too warm toned. So that is something that might take longer depending on the photo that I take from the very beginning, but I do rely on natural lighting to make this process easier. There is the finished product there, but I'm not done. I'm gonna hit save. It's gonna get saved onto my camera roll, and here it is. And then I'm gonna share it one more time, and I'm gonna go to the app called Vsco. You might know Vsco for their filters. It is the app that I used so often in my former Instagram feed because I had a very filtered feed, but I'm not using any filters like I've mentioned before. I am just going in here to go into the basic editing tools. And if you're wondering why I'm going into that here instead of just keeping it all in Snapseed, is for one reason only, and that reason is grain. Grain truly adds like a graininess to the photo, and I specifically like the one that is in Vsco's app as opposed to Snapseed's app. So I just go in here and I add in grain. Very, very specifically, I only add in at 4, at level 4. The reason being is because I want it to have that grain texture on the photo, but I don't want it to be too extreme. I just want it to be subtle enough for somebody to notice, but it's not like the main focus of the photo. And I think that detail is very important, at least for me. So there we go, and I hit save, and it goes into my camera roll. So the photo is completely edited. I want to show you a before and after. So this is what the photo originally looked like the moment that I took the photo from my camera, and this is what it looks like now. As you can see, it's a lot brighter, much more vibrant. There's not a massive difference other than that, but it does have that slight bit of a grain, and I think it just makes a difference. It's gonna look good on my feed because it is cohesive with the rest of my feed in that it is not filtered, but it's bright and vibrant, and it just looks nice and clean. And if I have to do any last bit editing, it happens here in the Instagram app under the adjust section. This is if I want to tilt the photo a little bit more, if I want to make it perfectly straight. And what I mean by that is that when you look at the photo, it looks like you're looking straight at it. I just really think that that's important. Oh my gosh, it got really dark. Of course that'll happen. It'll get really bright and then it'll get really dark. Yeah, so I just do a teensy bit of touching up on that just to make it look perfect. And I'm actually going to lift it up a little bit more so that that ordinary bottle in the corner over there looks a little bit more upward. And there we go. That is the final product. This is what it's going to look like when it goes up on my feed. So as you can see, it's bright, it's vibrant, it has a tiny bit of grain to it that gives it a bit of personality. And yeah, that's worthy enough to go onto my feed, and I'm pretty sure I did put the same exact photo on my feed, but that is essentially how I edit my photos. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you some apps that I commonly use. I always have them on my phone, and I've been using them for a really long time, so I really do recommend them personally for what I need in terms of like editing tools. And so I'm going to share my screen on that as well so that you can see. So this is my camera folder. It has all of my essentials. It includes Instagram, TikTok, my photo reel, and my camera. So the other things that I have here are Retouch. So I'm just going to click onto it. This app is a paid app. I believe you pay one-time fee. I've only paid once for this app, and it's incredible. There's no ads, nothing like that. And essentially what it is that you can like remove things off of a photo if it's like making the photo look cluttered or any reason that you want to remove something off of a photo. So I'm going to use this photo as an example. As you can see, it's just a very simplified photo, but let's say I want to remove the panel in the back over here. I can actually do that. I'm just going to shade it in right here. This is what I want to remove. Hit go, and it's gone. And look how crisp that is. That's incredible. If I were to post this on the feed, you would never know that there was a panel there to begin with. So this app is a lifesaver for a lot more critical moments where you want to remove something. And like I said, I only paid a one-time fee for it. It was either $1.99 or $2.99, but I've had this app for several years and it does wonders. I will never remove this app from my phone because I love it so much. But another app, I already mentioned Snapseed and Vsco, but another app is Canva. Canva is great for adding little doodles or maybe text onto your photos. It has a lot of editing tools in there. I'm not trying to minimize it at all, but in terms of like Instagram posts, if you're doing like a graphic with text, or if you're doing a graphic with lots of images and graphics and doodles and stuff like that, Canva has all of those things and it's free. I only recently, last month, started paying for the pro version, which they have, but I have used the app for years and it's completely free. They have so many free options. So if you're someone that's looking for that kind of like editing style, if you want to add text or graphics and stuff like that, or if you want to make collages or YouTube thumbnails and stuff like that, this app is a must. The next app is InShot. InShot is a photo and editing tool, but I mostly use it for video. And essentially, it's like one of the best video editing tools on a phone that I've experienced. It has so many different things that you can do. You can speed up the video, you can split the video, do just all sorts of different like really, really high-end editing stuff from your phone at a free app kind of cost. So obviously it's not perfect, but it is really, really impressive in my opinion. And I've just recently used this to edit a video where it was a minute-long video and I sped it up to be 8 seconds long just using this app. And I didn't have to do anything else but use this app, and it was incredible. Another thing that's really useful with this app is that you can save things in different resolutions. So if you did not know, TikTok does not support any video that is above 1080p, and my phone only does video in 4K. So sometimes I have to, well, not sometimes, I always have to go in here with my video clips that I record on my phone, and I have to switch it to 1080p. But of course you can do 4K and stuff like that, and you can change the resolution so that I can use those same videos that I've recorded on my phone, just export it as a 1080p video and then use it on my TikTok. So if that's something that is important to you, this app can do it and can do it for free. There are ads and you can pay to remove those, but I've never done it because I don't want to pay. And the last app that's on my phone, I will admit I don't use this app anymore, but if you're someone that is on the more artsier side, if you want to do some more editing that is on the artsy side, this app is going to be great for you because they have a lot of cool effects. I used to do a lot of the glitching effects, and you can get really artsy. You can do collages in here, you can do like different kinds of cartoon effects, all sorts of really cool things. So if you want your photos to be extremely like artsy and you want to get really creative with it, this app is perfect. I used it on my former Instagram account because I used to use a lot of those effects and stuff like that, but not so much anymore. But I still have it on my phone for some reason. I guess whenever the need comes, I'll have it on my phone already. But those are all of my apps. Those are all the apps that I use for photo and video editing on my phone. I can't remember if I mentioned it already, but every app that I mentioned just now, I will link it in the description box below so that you can quickly grab it. Okay, so the final part of this video, I wanted to touch on video and video capturing and video editing because we are in a new reality where video is a huge, huge influence in the social media world, and I felt like it would be relevant to talk about videos. If you're interested in knowing how I personally capture videos and edit them for Instagram/TikTok, I'm gonna say that often, but the two are interchangeable. I use the same content for both platforms, so that's why I keep saying that. But essentially what I try to do with my video capturing, like how I record videos, what's my style for capturing videos, it is not cinematic in any way. It's usually not scripted, it's usually not staged. It is more so of me pulling out my phone at any given moment and just hitting record. And yes, I do use my phone only for Instagram Reels and TikToks. I don't use a separate camera. My phone shoots in 4K, so it is pretty amazing quality, especially for a phone, and I'm happy with it. So if you're interested, it is the Google Pixel 6 Pro that I'm using. That is the larger phone in their latest phone series, and it does a great job. So yeah, like I said, it's not cinematic. I don't do much staging. Sometimes I'll, stage a scene, but it is not common. I'm more so someone who pulls out my phone whenever I'm doing something, and that might seem annoying to people who aren't content creators, but say I'm doing a yoga class, or I'm at the grocery store, or if I'm sitting in the passenger seat of the car, I will pull out my phone and record a few snippets and just keep everything in my camera roll, which is why I said my camera roll looks absolutely disgusting. It's because I have hundreds, if not thousands, of videos of like couple second long snippets of just random things that I do. And the reason why I film in that way or capture in that way is because most of my Reels / TikToks are mini vlog. But if I was to stage an Instagram Reel or TikTok, like for example, I just recently did one where it was sort of like a stop motion kind of thing, where it was like one scene and then I added pieces in and it looked like it was just popping up on the screen. I will set up a tripod and I'll set the scene and then I'll just slightly stage it. But it's nothing cinematic, it's nothing really deep. It's more so me trying to capture a tiny moment in a way that's slightly more artsy than my mini vlogs. But more often than not, I'm posting a mini vlog, and that is both on Instagram Reels and TikTok. Now, when it comes to editing, I do not touch any of the lighting. When it comes to those kinds of videos, I rely on natural lighting, honestly. So that's why you don't see anything from the nighttime, because that's not when the lighting is the best. So I'll try to record whenever the lighting is really great, typically in the morning, and I like to post in the morning as well, so that works out. But yeah, no editing there, and I don't use an additional editing tool to edit my videos before they go into Instagram or TikTok. I know I mentioned InShot, but I don't really use that unless I'm speeding up a video or I'm exporting the video in a different resolution. I do all of my cropping and cutting and stuff like that in the Instagram app and the TikTok app. The reason why I do that is because it's easy, first of all, but also I am under the impression that Instagram and TikTok like when you edit inside the app. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going with it, and that's the main reason why I edit in those apps. But it's not really hard for me. It doesn't become a challenging thing for me because my videos are so simple that it's actually quite easy, and I don't have an issue with editing inside of those apps. If I'm adding text on top of a video, I use one Canva. Canva has so many gorgeous free fonts that you can use, and you can edit video in Canva, so I'm a huge advocate for Canva, even though no, they are not sponsored. I just love them very much. And the other thing that I use is Instagram or TikTok. I just use the text app that's in there, or the text option that's in those apps, and I keep it really simple. I think the main gist of this video is to emphasize that I have really simplified things to another level. I know I was pretty simplified back then as well, but I'm even more so simplified now, which I think might be a good thing. It might be an accessible thing for people who are trying to do videos and photos in a style that's similar to mine. All right, that was a mouthful, y'all. I think I'm losing my voice, but I hope you liked this video. I hope it was interesting and informative. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions at all when it comes to editing, or just questions you have in general about, Instagram Reels and TikTok. I did mention I'm not doing any more of those social media workshop type videos, but if you do have any questions touching on what I mentioned in today's video, I will be happy to provide any insight that I can. And I would hope that you checked out the Instagram account or my TikTok so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Otherwise, this video would be really confusing. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about if you haven't at least looked or glanced at one of those feeds. If you're coming from one of those feeds and you're checking this video out, hello. And if not, I definitely recommend checking it out so you can get a vibe of what I've been talking about this entire time. That is all for this week's video. I need a big cup of water. I am losing my voice. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you in next week's video.